In this video, we will review bar models for division. So in this problem, we have a farmer picks 56 apples. She packs them equally into 7 boxes, and we want to know how many apples the farmer packs into each box. So just like with the multiplication bar models, this is just helping the students picture the problem. It's not actually helping them do the division. And this model is going to look familiar, but we're looking for different information. So in this one, we know the total. So when we did the multiplication, we didn't know the total. That's what we were trying to figure out. But this time we do know the total. And we know that the total is 56 apples. And we're looking to put them equally into 7 boxes. So we're going to do 7 units here. We're going to break this bar into 7 units. And I'll try my best to visually... Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 7 units there, and we want to know how much 1 unit is equal to. So in order to do that, because we have 7 boxes, we are going to do 56 divided by 7, and we know that that is equal to 8. So our little question mark there, our 1 unit, how much is in 1 box, is 8. We could label those all with 8. Okay, but we know that 1 box is 8 apples. So in this problem we have a tricycle has 3 wheels. At the tricycle race, there were 36 wheels in all. Oh, sorry, that should be a period at the end of that sentence there. How many tricycles were in the race? So in this problem, we need to figure out how many actual units there are. So the bar model here, what we do is we draw 1 unit over here at the end, and we know that there were 3 wheels on that bicycle, and we draw another one over here. There are 3 wheels. Sorry, on the tricycle. I think I said bicycle earlier. But we don't know how many tricycles there are. We know that in total we have 36 wheels, but we don't know how many of these little boxes would fit in this space. So I like to imagine these little dots like a little expander. How many would we fit in there? Same thing, we're still going to do division here to find out how many little boxes there would be. So here we're going to do 36 divided by 3, and that would be 12, so that we know that there are 12 tricycles in the race. So it's just another way to do the model when you know that there are 3 within the unit, but you don't know how many units there are. So in this problem, we have Sarah, and Sarah's giving some money to her friends Kim and Tommy. So she gives away $64 total, and Tommy is getting 3 times as much money as Kim. We need to figure out how much money Kim gets. So this is an example of where the bar model really comes in helpful, because sometimes we tend to want to divide 64 by 3, just looking at the numbers in the problem. But that's not the correct thing to do here. We'll take a look at the model and see why. So if we have Kim and we have Tommy, because those are the 2 people we're comparing, we know that Tommy has 3 times as much as Kim. So therefore Kim gets 1 unit. Tommy is represented by 3 units. And then we need to be careful. We see that Sarah is giving $64 total away. So we might be tempted to label Tommy as 64, but we don't want to do that because Tommy does not get 64. The total is 64. So our total for both goes over here. And now when we take a look at this, we know that that $64 is being split into 4 units. 1 for Kim, and then the 3 for Tommy. So we take our $64 and divide it by 4. And then we get $16. So $16 is how much is for 1 unit. So we have Kim here gets $16. And then if we wanted to, we could figure out how much Tommy is getting as well, but the problem is specifically asking for how much Kim gets, so our answer there is 16. All right, so in this problem, we now have a problem where we're going to be doing 2 steps for our model. 2 steps for our problem. And so we have Tina, and she has 45 beads. She's going to keep 15 for herself and divide the rest equally among 6 people. And we want to know how many beads each person other than Tina has. So we have a total number of beads here. Okay. So we have 1 bar and we have the total here is 45. Okay. So in this problem, she is going to keep 15. Looks like about there would be 15. She's going to keep this portion for herself. Okay. So that's going to be 15, and that is for Tina. Okay. And then she's going to take all the rest of this, and she's going to divide the rest equally among 6 people. So then we're going to take the rest of this bar over here. And sometimes the kids will like to draw that separately in another portion, but we can do the work right on the same bar we drew. So we're going to divide this into 6 people, 6 portions. And so if we know that this part over here is 15, we know that this other side here has to be 30 because your 15 and your 30 would give you your 45. And then we're going to do the 30 and divide that by 6 because there are 6 units over here. And that would be 5. So each person would get 5 beads. So here we have one final example of a bar modeling problem that you might use for division. And this is a problem that otherwise students might have to guess and check their way through this type of problem, but we can use the bar model to help them solve it or to help us solve it. So we have 3 people, Bobby, Peter, and Margot, and they have $67 total. Bobby has 4 times as much as Peter, and we know that Margot has $17, and we want to figure out how much Bobby has. So our first step here is to look at our comparison. We know that Bobby is compared to Peter. Bobby has 4 times as much as Peter, so we draw 1 unit for Peter, 4 units for Bobby. And then we also have Margot, and Margot's is given just kind of a flat rate of money. She's not in comparison to anyone. So we know that Margot has, $17. And that is not tied into the units that we're doing, but we're having a bar to represent her. We know that all together they have $67, and we write that over here on the side. So the place where we want to start is we know that Margot has 17, and it would be helpful to know how much is left for this portion of our model up here. So if Margot has 17, then we can subtract 17 from 67 to find out how much kind of goes in this red portion. So this red portion over here that I've boxed in is worth $50 because the 67 minus the 17 gives us 50. And then looking at this, we know that the $50 is split into 5 equal units, as we can see on our model here. So we would do our next step here is to do the 50 divided by 5, and that gives us $10 per unit. So we can fill in that Peter then has $10, and we know each of these little ones here, each of these units on Bobby's is also $10. And then I noticed that the question wants to really know how much Bobby has, and then we need to then multiply 10 times 4 would give us $40. So again, the model here is just helping us picture the problem, giving us a quick sketch of what it looks like, and it may help us solve problems that ordinarily we might have to guess and check our way through. It just gives us a strategy for moving forward. Hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.